Okay guys, so now that we have our basic tables, fields, and relationships created, now we can focus on creating the layouts for these specific tables. So what I like to do when I am editing layouts, we go in edit mode here in the top right. It says exit layout mode or go into layout mode. If you do Shift Command L, this will bring up your manage layouts. If you don't like shortcuts, you can also go to File, Manage, Layouts, and this is where all your layouts exist. This is the dashboard for the layouts. So what I like to do here is create a layouts folder, and then I also create a list folder and then a tables folder. And as your database grows, then you'll also create like desktop, iPhone, Android, web, and then also like some reports, fields to organize the database more. But since we're keeping it basic here, we're just going to keep it with these. You can notice that the first layout that FileMaker created was the original name of the database. We can actually go ahead and delete this. And what I like to do is the tables that we create automatically, we're going to take these tables and go and put them in the tables folder. We can also jump in here, and I like to rename these layouts for the corresponding folder that they're in. So right now we're in the table, so this is table customers. Also go to the views, disable form list, and then only have the table view. Let's do the same thing for files there. If you hold command and with your arrow keys, you can jump to the very front or the very end of a text, like a word. Type tables, so table files, the view, form disabled, list disabled, so we only have table view. So now with this, we need to create an interface for creating and inputting new records and new files for this specific database. So in the layouts folder, we're going to click new, and it says new layouts, let's report. We're going to click computer, form, and I like to say lay, and I'm going to say customers, and then click finish. So now we have our layout, it's customers, and it's using the table customers as well. So this is telling us that everything on that table will be able to be put on this layout, and not only that, but anything related to this table can be put on this layout. So like we did before, the Shift Command D will bring up the manage database, and relationships here we have the the files. So since we're on this table customers, this is this table occurrence right here. Anything related to this table occurrence can be put on this single layout. So we're going to rename this layout. We're going to create like a nice little text box and call this customers. Let's make this a little white text. Make this smaller. We can make this header smaller as well. So the cool thing with this, on the field side on the left hand side over here, we have the fields for the current table we're in. You'll notice that it says current table customers, and it also says related tables. These related tables also have our fields that we've created. If we go to that, we can see all these fields here. Right now we're going to go back to the current table customers, and on this layout I'm going to want to select my first name, my last name, my phone, and my email. I don't want to see full name, so I don't want it like that. The labels, I want the label for the field to be on top, and I want the fields to be stacking on top of one another. So we're going to drag and drop these onto the layout, and you can see how easy it is to create these layouts by just dragging and dropping. So we have the customers here, so we have first name, last name, phone, email. Just make these a little bit more visually satisfying here. One other thing that I would like to do is have a navigational pane on the side where I can select different customers. We can go to this top bar here, our toolbar here, and it says Portal Tool, display records from related tables on a layout. So we're going to click and drag. And this is going to be the tables the portal that we want to view is the current table customer. So the current table meaning that the current table the layout is a part of. So now we are going to click OK there. We're going to add the full name field to this portals list. So we're going to see a list of the full names, which is going to be pretty cool. Okay. Get a little bit more spacing here. And then let's say we wanted a portal at the bottom there to show the related files or create new files to this database. So we're going to click this portal and click and drag. And you can change the show records from, and it's going to be that related file that the related table that we have files. Click OK. I want the file itself, I want the file name, and I want the file description. Click OK. I'm going to double click the portal itself, and let's type in, it says number of rows there. Let's just only type 5 rows. We're going to click and drag. It's still a little bit much, so we're going to double click again. The number of rows, I'm going to change to 3. So you can make the rows bigger here, which is pretty cool. So that I can make this file dialog box here bigger. I like that a lot more. Let's get this centered. So we got the file name itself. Now we have the file description. And click and drag over here for the file name. Click and drag for this. You can see that dotted line, so that's about 2 lines of text right there, which should be plenty. We can also do a merge field so that instead of inputting data, it displays data. So if we go to Insert, Merge Field, we go to the Files table. We can also select this creation timestamp and then created by. So we got file creation timestamp. I'm going to change so it's to the left. So it says files creation timestamp. Now I want to say this created. So that's one version. And then I'm going to go back to the Insert Merge field and select Created By. I want this to be aligned to the right, and this one's going to be called, actually we can go back to the left. Let's merge this back to the left and say Created By. We can also add a button here so that if we want to delete a file that we've added, we can also do that. At the top toolbar here, there's this icon that's a button. We can click and drag. This is the button setup. We can name this button or just give this button an icon, which I just typically give an icon. And it says the action. What do we want to do here? So this is going to be the first basic step to a script editor. Here we're just going to say delete. And we're deleting a record in a portal, so it's just going to be delete portal record. And I want the dialog box on. So this is going to alert the user, hey, are you sure that you want to delete this? Click OK. The options for a button, you have change cursor to hand over button. I'm going to select that. We're going to make this a little bit bigger. In the appearance tab over here, with the button selected, we can highlight all these paddings and change these to 0. So now we have a way of navigating to multiple clients, customers, add new customers, and also add files to that customer. Now, what you'll see here is that when we click Exit Layout, we get this nice user interface for creating new content. We can use the FileMaker tools that are available to us in FileMaker Pro. At the top here, we have a button called New Record. So if we click New Record, we're automatically greeted with some new information that we can incorporate into this database. So I'm going to add my information here. And what I'm going to do to visually show you how FileMaker is structuring data here, I'm going to go back to Edit Layout, and I'm actually going to pull on Layout the primary key field for this specific record. So you can see the unique primary key for this specific record. This is a brand new record, and you can see that this ID is automatically generated by FileMaker, and it is assigned to this specific client. Now, in the previous videos, we're talking about how when you relate data to something else, you need to know where it's coming from, and you know where it's coming from based off of that unique primary key. So this portal down here, if we go to Shift-Command-D in the Relationships tab, your Files tab over here is related via this primary key. So this primary key needs to be equal to this customer's ID of K over here. I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to go to the very top navigation menu here, and I'm going to click New Window. FileMaker has the capabilities of doing multiple windows. I'm going to go to the Layouts tab here, and over by the Tables folder, I'm going to go to Tables Files. So you can see that this is like an Excel spreadsheet kind of right now, because you have the columns and each column represents a field. And what you'll notice here is that on the left hand side, when I start adding data to this portal for this specific client, it's going to add that record over here. And you'll notice that this customer ID of K field will match this one exactly, because this portal is on that specific layout. So what you'll notice is that as soon as we add a file to the actual portal list here, under this specific customer, on the right hand side, we're going to get the same exact customer ID of K number on this layout side. We're going to drag and drop info English right here. We can give a file name info _EG, and automatically populated the timestamp created by. And you can see over here, this is the data coming in from the portals of the customer's layout. And you can notice that this file is related to this customer because of its related primary key ID of K field. So this number here matches this exact customer. And if we go over here and we add another file to the database, you can see that that same customer, it has two files now. So that's why we're only seeing two files in this portal, because this customer only has two files related to itself. We can add all these names to it. We can also go in here and use our delete button that we selected. It says permanently delete this record, yes. And you can see how that first record is gone on both sides, both the data tab and the actual layout itself. We can go in here and create another client. We can just say John Doe 951. Usually have an E here. Email at gmail.com. And you'll also notice that on the right hand side, as I add a couple files to this customer, the customer ID of K field will be different. So you can see how I have a total of 3 records in the files table, but on my customer's layout side, I only see 2 files because this customer only has 2 files related to it. There's only 2 files related to the specific customer based off of this customer's primary key ID of K field. So this is how FileMaker controls how to view data, how data is viewed, so you can relate multiple different types of data to other sectors throughout your database. And then what we can do is we can take this a step further and relate this data to duplicates or finding duplicates and then creating list views and then creating inspections, work orders, invoices. You can expand this knowledge so far unimaginable with FileMaker. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to create a basic list view in FileMaker Pro so that you can gain some knowledge as far as viewing a bunch of data so you don't see all of this all at once. So stay tuned to the next video so you can see how to create lists in FileMaker Pro. Thanks, guys.